Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dean, and I'm going to be doing your April 16th, 2022 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. There will be a loud sound accompanying this cleanse. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Virgo. The imagery that I kept getting while the singing bowl was singing was putting a foot forward and taking it back, and it says stop apologizing, stop apologizing. For me, that's a sense of timidity. That's very much an energy of kind of just wanting to keep the peace, wanting to keep the balance, and we're afraid to step forward. We're afraid to step out of line. So Spirit is really saying here, move forward in the power and in the ferocity for you. And that's going to be intrinsically important during this time. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, this one right here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. So we start off with self-love. A new romantic cycle is beginning. So as we're loving ourselves and also as we're accepting ourselves, we're going to see a new cycle beginning within our lives, a new romantic cycle, a new cycle of love and of passion and of understanding. So that's going to be very much a big thing. And also remember, this full moon is called the pink moon. It's called the pink moon because of the phlox flower that symbolizes harmony, compatibility, union, partnership, agreement, also the uniting of hearts and the uniting of souls through self-love and through a sense of embracing the love and the beauty of this moon. We're going to see ourselves entering into a new cycle, entering into a new place of romantic acceptance, but also a new door opening to love and to what it is that we really want from life. It moves us to self-reflection. And then it says emotions are running high. So as we're looking at things, and that's why we have that timidity, that sense of stepping forward, but then not being sure if we're moving the right way or if we're not. Here, as we reflect, emotions run high. And it can be that we start to blame ourselves for everything. We have to be very mindful of that energy holding us back. We also have to be very mindful of the emotions that this moon brings up for us, from the full moon on the 16th to the new moon on the 30th. There can be a lot that's going on that we're seeing, that we're understanding, that we're looking at, and it shakes our foundation. So our emotions do run high. And even though we're entering into a new romantic cycle, a new cycle of love and understanding and of what we desire, we're also questioning it tremendously. It then brings us to abundance, and you are good enough. There's an energy here of abundance, of prosperity, of power. And then the full moon in Virgo comes through Virgo, and it says you are good enough, which isn't meant to be, patronizing at all. It is meant to say that you are enough as you are. Yes, there can be things that we want to improve. Yes, there are things that we, want to get better at. Again, improve on. But there is an energy here of I'm enough. And if I accept me for who I am, and if I call forward abundance in my life and say, I'm working hard, I'm playing hard, I know what it is that I want, I know where it is that I'm focusing on my success, or how it is that I'm focusing on my success. And I'm not making myself, like rolling myself so thin that there's not enough of me for anyone, especially myself. That's going to be a very powerful thing, because we're going to start to see the abundance coming. We're going to start to see the prosperity coming. But also, if we are spreading ourselves too thin, we're going to see the abundance pass us by, because we're trying to do too much. We're trying to be everything. And the only thing that it's going to build is resentment and anger and frustration. So being aware of that is going to be very, very important for us. Now let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly the Three of Swords. So that definitely comes forward, especially with self-reflection and emotions running high. And even the self-love and the new romantic cycle beginning and the abundance coming in, we're looking at a lot of the hurts and a lot of the pains, a lot of the devastation that has come before. And we're thinking, can I do this? Is this the heartbreak? Is this the heartbreak that I want in my life? Or do I want to keep the heartbreak in my life? Meaning that if we put ourselves out there, we can get rejected. We can, fall in love and not have it work out. Is this the heartbreak that I want to deal with? And unless we keep ourselves so safe, so locked away, that nothing ever comes in our lives, the heartbreak is going to come. The hurt, the pain, the disappointment. Naming it, understanding it, looking at it, and being very open with ourselves the way that we see it, that's going to be a game changer, because we're not going to be defined by everyone and everything else. And the really interesting thing is that this full moon is in Libra, and we have the Libra energy here in the new moon coming forward. And it says a new romantic cycle begins. Now, it can be that we're working towards things when it comes to self-love and acceptance and understanding that opens up on the next new moon, which is on the 30th of April. We're going to see things in a very different way. And this is a time of growth. This is a time of understanding, but this is also the quintessential Libra time of balance. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is universal light. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. There's a light, there's a radiance, there's a brilliance to us. And we can think, I just see us putting too much on our backs. Very much, I'm just seeing the Ten of Wands coming up. It's piling up too much. It's making ourselves way too responsible for other people's happiness, for everything else that everybody else wants or needs or desires. And so here with the universal light, we're looking at our radiance. We're looking at what we need, but we're also looking at the way that we move forward and the light that guides us. There's a sense of, there's a light in the darkness here. Are we embracing it? Are we seeing it? Let's look at what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So we have the Four of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Emperor, Aries energy, the Knight of Cups, and the Moon coming into play. So the Moon is very important because we're talking about the full moon right here and right now. So when the moon comes into play, what we're looking at is the power of this moon. And we're going to see that this moon has a greater effect on us than it will others. So Virgo, we're going to be very affected by this moon. We're also connecting with Pisces energy because the moon represents Pisces in the major arcana. And there's a sense here of, am I moving towards what I need and what I want? What is it that I just see the pincers of the lobster kind of coming at us? It's like, what is it that is trying to snip at us? It can be a person who's snippy. It can be a situation that we say, oh, that's prickly, type of thing. Because emotionally, we're always looking behind. And there's a person here who's always looking at things. And they'll have a tendency to talk to you about the past. And it's so funny because they'll say, oh, it was better when. And you're going to be like, are you kidding me? You were complaining about that all the time. You were so dissatisfied with XYZ. And now you're saying that person wasn't that bad, or that situation wasn't as bad as, I'm making it out to be now, as we're making it out to be, Virgo, because when they talked about it, it was all negative. So just be very mindful of this during this time, that there is somebody coming forward. They're looking at the past. They're not seeing the gifts of love and the gifts of connection that they have in the here and the now. And the past is always going to be better. They also have a tendency not to be satisfied, not to be satisfied with things. The Emperor comes in, and this is an energy that we need to really embrace. We're going to try. Okay, so what Spirit is saying is that old saying, like, for a ruler, that I'm only as happy as my unhappiest person. And that's not true. We're going to have that tendency during this time. I'm only doing as well as the person who is the least satisfied. But you might have a person who is just negative and corruptive and, dissatisfied with their lives in general. You're never going to make them happy. So why are you judging yourself off of them? That's the energy that I'm seeing here. And what we're needing to say is, no, I'm building a solid foundation. I'm building something better. Your negativity doesn't get to rip it down. It brings us then to it brings us to the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is Libra energy of balance coming in. But there's an imbalance here. It's almost like we're waiting for somebody to hand out a sense of our worth, like to say, good job. No, we need to be taking and validating ourselves, taking our worth, validating ourselves, believing in us. And as we do this, we're going to find ourselves invigorated. We're going to find ourselves then being able to be the ones to distribute the wealth and the prosperity, but things need to be even and they need to be fair. And we need to stop waiting for somebody else to validate us, because it's not going to happen. The Four of Swords, we need to rest. It has been a long, hard road. And we might just find that we're exhausted. Allergies might be, kicking in, and we just feel like, oh my gosh, enough is really quite enough. The Four of Swords is saying rest. Also, honor your story. Honor everything that you've been through. Honor who it is that you are, because the doors are opening. And if we don't rest, and if we don't, take some of the responsibility off our shoulders, we're not going to enjoy it. It's going to pass us by. And we're going to sit there and think, what happened? Why didn't I get to have beauty in my life? Or why didn't I ever enjoy this? Let's go deeper into the tarot. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have the King of Cups, the Devil, the Five of Swords, Judgment, and the Page of Swords. So it's interesting with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is, we're going to be fighting a battle. We've fought it before. The devil has had their tie on us. We've felt stuck. We felt overwhelmed with self-reflection and with, this energy of emotions are gaining momentum. Emotions are high. The devil comes in and it's like, it's just putting undue pressure on us. This is what society wants us to be. This is what our families want us to be. This is what we ourselves want us to be. That's not necessarily the devil's work, right? But we're feeling trapped. We're feeling tied. We're feeling overwhelmed. And here, the devil energy comes in and it says, what are you trapped to? What are you tied to? What overpowers you? What is overwhelming? And so here, there is a sense of, how do I break these ties? How do I break these chains? With the Five of Swords, this is something that we've seen before. We've definitely experienced it. And we're just feeling, I'm just seeing wings being cut. It's like, I can't fly. I can't express myself the way that I want to. There's a certain sense of frustration here that's definitely coming through. And what's so interesting is that we have such beautiful cards coming in, because we feel overwhelmed. We feel like we can't do this. And then the King of Cups says, stop. The King of Cups says, stop trying to please everybody else. What I love about the King of Cups is that he pleases himself. It doesn't mean that he forgets his duties and responsibilities as a king. It means that he says, I live by example. And if I live my life well, and if I hold my head up high, and I live in a sense of, it's pride for self, but it's not egotism. It's like, I am proud of who I am. I am proud of what I want. I am proud of opening up this door and being connected with my heart, my soul, and myself. If I live like that, then I live by example. because they're saying you can't pull everybody with you. You can't make the right choices for anyone except for yourself. And even when we make the right choices for ourselves, we can have other people's mess ups come and be put on our table. And it's like, what the heck? I was trying to do such a good job. I was doing everything right. And now I have to clean up your mess, or now I have a responsibility that lasts forever because you screwed up. That type of thing is coming through. And the King of Cups is saying, live in the way that you're proud of yourself. And that's going to be very important during this time, and just in life in general, because judgment is coming in and we're finding ourselves rising out of the box that we were put in, the box that we put ourselves in, the box that somebody else has put us in. It's kind of like we're rising up and we're finding a new way forward. We're finding a new path, a new understanding. And we also have the sense of, you weren't aware of your words. You weren't aware of the power of your mind and your words and what you are discovering. There's somebody here who's very young. I just see them, they're very young. I just see like a 3-year-old running around. And it doesn't mean that they have to be 3, right? It could be a child. It could be somebody who's a very young soul, but they're very determined. They're astoundingly headstrong. They don't quite always take responsibility for what they've done or think anything through. And there's an energy here of, you're teaching me the power of the words that I am speaking and of what I am manifesting. Because before, it can even be, before I was like this child, untrained, unruly, and now I am learning the power of my thoughts and my words and what I'm putting forward into the world. And so there is a sense of cutting through a lot of the chaos that has been on top of us for quite some time now. And there's a clarity that comes in. We're also learning the power of our voice during this time. It's like what is it? A gag is being taken out of our mouth, or, excuse me, a mask is coming off. It's like we're learning the power of our voice, and we're embracing that power quite profoundly. It then moves us to go deeper into the tarot. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have the 6 of Cups, and that's it. Spirit saying end there. With the 6 of Cups, it's a tendency to look towards the past. Just like with this person here, with the Knight of Cups, they have a tendency to look back. We're going to have a tendency to, I want to say, whitewash the past. Meaning, when you're painting a wall or something that has too bright a color or too dark a color, and you're going to paint over it with something lighter, you have to put the whitewash up, so then the color will take. Here, we're being told, the past is bleeding through because we haven't prepped things properly. But also we haven't taken time to really look at our story and honor and respect where we've come from. There is an energy here with the 6 of Cups of, it's been too much, so I'm going to look back and I'm going to try and just make everything better now. But we're also missing promises that we've said to ourselves. I'm never going to again. And yet we're finding ourselves in that same sphere when we have to fight for what it is that we want, for how it is that we're opening up the door. The 6 of Cups comes in and it's saying, be very mindful of what you're looking at and what you're romanticizing. Our subconscious lunar energy is attraction, and adjustments are required. They need to be made. And it's so interesting because then we have the full moon in Libra, which comes up, and it says a win-win outcome is forecast. Yes, it is, but we need to make adjustments because what we are attracting to ourselves, what we are attracting is not necessarily what we want, but it's teaching us a heck of a lot. And we're being put in these situations, again, when we're told that we have to find our voice, where we're looking at things in a different light, in a different way, and we're really seeing what we need. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. Oh, goodness. Right here. And it's the sun. It's funny. We need to be mindful of the happiest card in the whole entire deck. I just see us chasing a happiness that is idealized. It's a sense of, oh, but it was always better when. Or a person saying, I promise you happiness if you just work harder, do more, do more, do more, do more. And I just see us working ourselves to the bone for somebody else's imagined happiness, or for a happiness that we might have if we take away the fancy address, or we take away the fancy car, and all those things. And we just go to the heart of the matter. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is again the soul star chakra, and it's soul's healing. During this time, during this moon, our soul is healing a lot. And we're finding ourselves embracing love and seeing what we really need. It moves us to our subconscious tarot energy, which begins with the devil. We're tied to something that I just see like we're thinking we're doing the right thing, but we're tied to somebody else's dream, ideal, what they want, or what we think we're supposed to be wanting or doing. The devil comes in, and it is overwhelming for us. It is a sense of, am I doing the right thing? Am I moving forward the right way? We're tied, and yet the Lover's card just keeps on being, layered over it, because the Lovers is the angel and the two people standing. So we think we're moving towards what we love, but we're really moving in that same pattern of trying to please somebody who we can't please. And even if it is an idyllic version of ourselves, we can't do it. There's something unrealistic that we're trying to live to, that we're trying to emulate in our world. It moves us then to the Four of Swords. We need to honor our journey. We need to rest. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to stand firmly in ourselves and honor the journey that we have been on. Honor everything about us. There is also a need to slow down. Spirit is saying, slow down, slow down. It moves us to the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is again saying, rule your world. Rule yourself. Because that's the only person we can rule. There's also very strong water sign energy here. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Live by the example of you. And let no one else and nothing else stand in your way. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and intensity of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo, and may you have a blessed moon.